Hello everyone and welcome back to Very Cold Lasagna, your filthy casual place for all the filthy casual takes on the world of sports. I am DylanLasagna and welcome back to another round of our weekly NFL preview and picks for this 2022 season. It's week 9 and we officially reached the midway point of the season, and can you believe it? We're already halfway there. And how does it go? We're halfway there. We're looking good now. Nothing gonna get in our way. Is that how they do it? That's how Big Time Rush sings it? Yes, I'm a rusher. I'm not afraid to admit that. So, fuck you to everyone that doubts me or calls me cringe or what now. But anyway, we're halfway there in this 2022 season, and we're about to find out who's gonna separate themselves as the playoff contenders, the pretenders, and pretty much who's just going to look forward to the 2023 NFL draft in April. And either that or just looking for a head coach at this point. So anyway, we have even more teams on bye this week. That includes the Cleveland Browns, the Dallas Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the New York Giants, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and of course, my San Francisco 49ers. So for my Niners fans, I hope you're enjoying the bye this week. Maybe perhaps reading a book, going out somewhere, doing whatever you can to relax your mental state, especially with the 49ers and how they're doing at this point in the season. But, chilling a little bit here, go check out my assessment, my review of the 49ers as they're 4-4. I did a full podcast episode that was uploaded recently on all platforms. But anyway, let's get into these picks for Week 9, starting with Thursday Night Football, only on Amazon Prime Video that already took place. The Philadelphia Eagles beat the Houston Texans 29-17, and it was kind of a weird outing for Philadelphia. Sure, they dominated the second half against Houston, and they helped them pull it away, but they had to fight off Dameon Pierce, the running back, and a little worrisome with the run defense, but hell, they're 8-0, and maybe it was just a really weird week for them. So the Eagles, clear-cut contenders still in the NFC, and who knows how they'll do the rest of the way. Looking at the Sunday slate of games, starting with the early morning portion for our picks, the LA Chargers return from their bye as they take on the Atlanta Falcons. The Chargers are 4-3 as they look to establish something. Their last two games were not so great for Justin Herbert in the passing game, and they're looking to get back in sync. They're still probably not going to have Keenan Allen coming out of the bye week. And meanwhile, for the Atlanta Falcons, they're first place in the NFC South, but now they're facing a tougher test for Marcus Mariota in the offense against a banged up, but you still have a decent Chargers secondary and a pass rush despite not having Joey Bosa there. So because of that, and because of how both of these teams tend to choke off in their games, I'm gonna give it a little bit of advantage, an upset advantage to Atlanta here, because I like how Arthur Smith is making the most of his team and making the most out of his players in spite, how meh they are. So give me Atlanta in this one because I can trust them maybe a little bit more than the Clippers per se. The Miami Dolphins at 5-3 take on the Chicago Bears at 3-5. This is a really interesting game for both teams because these were two teams that made some big moves at the trade deadline. For the Dolphins, they added players. They were buyers at the deadline. They added Bradley Chubb, a linebacker from the Denver Broncos, and they took away Jeff Wilson Jr. from my 49ers. So, I think they're probably going to start using them in this game in Chicago. And as for Chicago, they got receiver Chase Claypool at the deadline from the Pittsburgh Steelers, but they also sent away linebackers Roquan Smith and Robert Quinn to other teams. And they were buyers and sellers at the deadline. So they got a weapon on offense, but on the defensive end, they lost some productive weapons. So give me Miami in this game, regardless of what happens at the trade deadline. But we'll see what happens with their new toys. The Carolina Panthers at 2-6 take on the 4-4 Cincinnati Bengals. Man, I initially thought Cincinnati was going to run away with this game, but they're really having Super Bowl hangover. Their offense just looks out of whack. Even without Jamar Chase, it's like the offensive line still looks like 2021 form, even with all the additions. And now it consists of injury mania, running wild in the jungle, now in the secondary with all those injuries. So, big yikes. Meanwhile, yeah, PJ Walker choked in that game too in Atlanta, but he's making the most of his very limited supporting cast that just, aside from DJ Moore, it's pretty mixed. So, who knows what's going to happen in this game between these two kitties in the jungle. Give me Carolina. I'm going to go on an upset train here. Give me Carolina in this game against Cincinnati. The Green Bay Packers at 3-5 take on the 1-6 the Detroit Lions. The Packers, they're still looking very undisciplined on both fronts. Aaron Rodgers still can't connect with his receivers. The only thing productive on offense was Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon in that Buffalo game. And defensively, not exactly great. Quay Walker got ejected in that Buffalo game, so maybe this is the game against a very whack team in the Lions is their get-right game, or at least it should be. And then who knows what happened the week after. Meanwhile, for the Lions, they stay hot, at least in the first half or in the first couple of series against their opponents, but then they can't stay aggressive consistently after that. So what's Dan Campbell going to do to keep his guys together? So it's just very rough for the Lions right now. So give me the Packers in this game. The Las Vegas Raiders at 2-5 take on the all-elite Jacksonville Jaguars at 2-6. And man, it's not to say that the Jaguars are embarrassing, but it's just that they're not producing whatever they're doing on offense into wins. So they have something decent going with Trevor Lawrence and their offense, but they just can't finish. They really can't finish their drives and put it together into wins. But maybe this is the game that helps them against a Raiders team that's just trying to save themselves from further embarrassment. And especially Josh McDaniels, who at this point is probably trying to coach himself away from a firing from Mark Davis. So give me the Jaguars in this game. The Indianapolis Colts at 3-4-1 take on the 4-4 New England Patriots. And, well, this probably is going to be a Sam Ehlinger game because they're not going to have Jonathan Taylor. So the Colts better hope for a really, really good game from Sam Ehlinger. Otherwise, it's going to be feasting time for the Patriots defense, despite Mac Jones' struggles. So give me the Patriots in this one. The Buffalo Bills at 6-1 take on the New York Jets at 5-3. The Bills offense looking to feast even further with the addition of former Colts backup running back Nyheim Hines. I mean, I don't know if this was necessarily the priority addition that the Bills needed, but I don't know. I guess they added him for depth, considering that the running back room wasn't exactly inspiring. But Nyheim Hines is a good third down back, but hell, they could have done worse things at the trade deadline. Jets quarterback Zach Wilson, on the other hand, I don't know, man. Once they lost Breece Hall, who knows? It was just one game, but he's got to bounce back from this careless 3-interception game against the Patriots last week. So who knows? I mean, it won't result in a win against Buffalo, but he's got to do better this week. So give me the Bills in this game against the Jets. The Minnesota Vikings at 6-1 take on the Washington Commanders at 4-4 in the nation's capital. Kirk Cousins returns to the team that drafted him in the nation's capital with a red-hot offense and a new weapon in TJ Hawkinson. So it's going to be interesting how they try to integrate him with Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook. It should be a fun offense to see, just as long as Kirk Cousins doesn't choke on the road. Meanwhile, for Taylor Heineke, going up against Kirk Cousins' new team, all of a sudden, they're 4-4. I mean, sure, they're not going to do anything productive down the stretch, but hell, this is an opportunity to be a spoiler be a spoiler and command a third straight upset win. Will it happen? Probably not. So give me Minnesota in this game. But hell, stranger things have happened though. Going to the late afternoon slate of games, there's only two in this portion. The Seattle Seahawks at 5-3 take on the 3-5 Arizona Cardinals. Even though the 49ers are on bye this week, this is still kind of a game to pay attention to because whatever happens here kind of has an impact on their standings for the NFC West race. So for the Seahawks, hell, Geno Smith definitely looks like a different quarterback than the Niners played in week 2 because his resurgence kind of looks legitimate at the midway point, and he continues to keep it up as Seattle looks to strengthen their playoff position in their stranglehold on first place in that division. Meanwhile, for the Arizona Cardinals, sure, DeAndre Hopkins helps the Cardinals offense, but if Kyler Murray continues to keep making mistakes, Cliff Kingsbury continues to put together crappy game plans for his team, yeah, it's not going to look good. If it's not going to look pretty for them towards the end of the season, and it could result in Cliff Kingsbury getting fired, or who knows how much more frustrated Kyler Murray's going to be. So I hate to say it, who I'm going to go with. Sure, my gut says the Arizona to win this game. Maybe pull off an upset, but the way Seattle is playing right now, hell, give me them. Hate to say it. The LA Rams at 3-4 take on the Tampa Bay Bucks at 3-5. It's a rematch of that crazy NFC divisional playoff game from last January. But man, what a far cry this game is probably going to be because both teams are currently struggling right now on all fronts. And Cooper Kupp is expected to play in this game, despite suffering the late ankle injury that he never should have suffered, by the way. Meanwhile, for the Tampa Bay Bucks, they're going to be short on a couple of players in this game. But man, both of their offenses look very, very uninspiring at the moment. So it's kind of hard to pick a team to win in this game. But give me the Bucks. Give me the Bucks in this game. Just because I don't want the Rams to win. So anyway, the Sunday Night Football game for this week is the Tennessee Titans at 5-2, taking on the Kansas City Chiefs at 5-2. For the Titans, I'm not sure at this point when I'm recording this if Ryan Tannehill is going to play for the Titans, but it sounds like he probably won't because he wasn't spotted at practice on the day on Thursday. So whether or not he's able to play, or if it's going to be Malik Willis, they're probably going to go with a lot of Derrick Henry again this week. So the Chiefs are probably going to be expecting that a lot. And of course, they're coming out of the bye, and they have a couple of players coming back that were injured. So Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are going to be ready to set this second half stretch ablaze. Like they have an agenda ready to go. So give me the Chiefs easily in this game. And then we have the Monday Night Football game as the Baltimore Ravens at 5-3 take on the New Orleans Saints at 3-5 to close out the week. Well, for the Ravens, unfortunately, Lamar Jackson just had to sell out to All Elite Wrestling. Lamar Jackson is All Elite, but hey, if the Ravens don't sign him, then he at least has a home. At least he'll have a home to consider in the offseason, right? Right. But unfortunately, not for his teammate Rashad Bateman because he's out for the season, sadly, with a foot injury. So that sucks. That sucks for him. So that means the Ravens receivers are going to have to step up big to keep Baltimore's hold on the AFC North. I'm not sure about Mark Andrews' status for Monday night, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Meanwhile, for the Saints, at this point, where they're at in the NFC South, or just in general, they're just going to have to go as far as both Alvin Kamara and especially Andy Dalton will take them. So, I mean the Ravens in this one. And maybe on Monday night, Lamar Jackson will just prove just how all elite he's going to be on prime time. I can't believe they really had Lamar Jackson on AEW. Really? Lamar Jackson really had to go there, of all places. I don't know, man. I really don't know. And another side note, this is really the week where the Niners were on bye week to give us like another bad slate of primetime games. Really? I don't know. Maybe it will be kind of interesting, but the Sunday night game's just shit, man. The Sunday night game's really shit. But anyway, those are my picks for week 9 of the 2022 season. What are you guys going with? Are you going with me on some of these games or against me? Let me know your thoughts on this upcoming slated games for this weekend. But anyway, this is Dylan Lasagna of Very Cold Lasagna signing out, and keep that lasagna very cold in the fridge with your takes on the world of sports. And until next time, peace out.